Thank you very much.
The third supplementary question will be asked by the Honourable Matwe.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. President, what you just said now is not different from what you've been saying over the years. The reality is that your own government has not grown this economy by more than 2%. We're talking today, your own government revised the economic growth that they put last month from 1.8 to 1.4. So there is no economic growth that is going to happen in the medium term. You have not been able, President, to reduce the high levels of unemployment. You have not been able, President, to shield the poor from the high cost of living. We've seen the Minister of Finance now attempting to increase the fuel levy, which will deepen the crisis of our country. So we saw you taking a trip to the US last week. And we're asking ourselves, what strategic economic interventions are you trying to lock in? Because you are saying you went there to mend relations. How is your trip going to assist us? President?
Thank you, Honourable Member. Your time has expired.
President, you dismally failed, Deputy Speaker, to finish, to protect the constitutional ruling that
Honourable
said
Member,
that
your
kill the
time
boer,
has
the farmer
expired.
chant is not
Honourable Matwe, your
that
time has
constitutes to hate
expired.
speech and does not incite
Honourable Matwe,
violence. So,
Honourable Matwe, I am now cautioning you. You are going beyond your time and you are not acting. Honourable Matwe,
You have to protect me.
Honourable members, please give me the opportunity. Honourable Matwe, you are now 40 seconds over your time.
Deputy Speaker, I was disrupted by these people.
No, Honourable Member, there
President, you
was
failed
no
to protect the
interruption. Honourable
constitutional court.
Matwe, will you please
Unlike President
sit down? Honourable Matwe, I am now cautioning you. Honourable Matwe, will you please leave the chamber? Honourable Matwe, I have been cautioning you a number of times. Now I'm asking you because you are ignoring and disrespecting the chair. Honourable Matwe, I have asked you to please leave the chamber.
Chairperson,
Yes,
you only
she must
caution
kindly
them
leave,
once.
Speaker.
How many
Leave the
questions
chair.
must you give a member before you eject them from the house?
Which I
You
have.
cautioned her once. You
No,
said
I
I'm
did
cautioning
not.
you.
I said
Then she
caution
sat down.
times. No, after 46 seconds. Honourable Matwe, please leave the chamber. That is my instruction. If you do not want to, Sergeant at Arms, could you please assist? Honourable Matwe.
Deputy Speaker, is it because he was touching you on the Americans? You can't do that.
Honourable Sergeant at Arms.
No, Deputy Speaker, that's not how we operate. No, that's not how we operate. You are the member. You only just told her that she has spoken over 40 seconons. And after that, she must leave the house. That's not how we work.
That's how you work in the EFF, not in Parliament.
For the time, and you did not stop them.
Honourable Mente, I am also cautioning you. That is now the second one. Honourable Mente and the Sergeant at Arms. I am now calling the Sergeant at Arms.
Doesn't change the fact, Deputy Speaker, you can remove us from this
You need
house.
to follow the rules of Parliament when I speak.
Which says the farmer is a
Please
crime
come and assist
and
the
therefore
Honourable Matwe.
constitute to a hate speech. That's why you are sitting on that chair.
We're trying very hard to impress Julius on our time.
That was
Stop it and go out.
I fuck off when I.
Not in an auction of impressing Julius Malema, man. Can you go out? You don't have time.
You are scared of white
You are
people.
quiet. You are not doing
Honourable
that
Speaker.
one.
We are worshipping white people here.
Honourable Deputy Speaker.
Now the second one. Honourable
You are
Mente.
scared of white people when I speak. You are scared of white people.
Honourable Deputy Speaker.
I'm not recognizing anyone now. You may not, in terms of the rules, intervene at any point while
But Deputy Speaker, up here. Can you recognize us as well?
I have just ruled, Honourable Mkalipi, you should know the rules, that whilst someone is being removed, that you may not interrupt the process, because then you are also in breach of the rules. So I am cautioning you, Honorable Mkalipi.
You want all members of the EFF out of that house
Honorable
because you're
Mkalipi, I am cautioning you now for the second time.
But Deputy Speaker, why are you saying
Honorable
you are questioning
Mkalipi,
me
that
while I'm
is now the
quiet?
third time that I'm cautioning you.
But
The
I'm
table,
quiet.
please
Why are you
remove
calling my name while I'm quiet?
Honorable Mkalipi from the
Hey,
platform.
keep quiet. You are not quiet when I'm calling. Keep quiet.
Hey,
Honorable
Kuwena,
Piri.
shut up, Wena, Piri, shut up.
you are scared of white people,
Honorable
Deputy
members, we will now
Speaker.
proceed. Honorable
You are scared of white
Members.
Honorable
people.
Deputy Speaker, can I rise on a
Very
point of
scared.
order?
Honorable members, I'm now cautioning you on the platform. You have not been recognized. And we will now proceed. Honorable Mkaula, order. Honorable Mente, what is your point of order?
The point of order is on you, Speaker, and your unfairness. Honorable Piri there on the platform he has been speaking. You have never cautioned him. You have never thrown him out.
Honorable
Yet,
Mente,
Mkalipi, you have thrown her out. For what good reason?
Honorable Mente, focus.
No, you are unfair. You are unfair. I'm very focused. You are
Honorable
unfair.
Mente, I am now cautioning you
She's
for
only
the third time.
concentrating on EFF members.
Honorable member
You're only
of the
concentrating
MK.
on EFF member.
Honorable member. Honorable member, I have made a ruling and you do know what you have to do. Once a ruling has been made, you can go to the speaker and then to the rules committee. Honorable President, please proceed.
Honorable Speaker, I just have a point of order.
Thank you,
You
Honorable.
can't have a point of order.
Deputy
The ruling
Speaker.
has been made. The ruling has been made.
Honorable members on the platform, order.
May you grant me, Honorable.
Honorable Tutetse, I'm going to remove you from the platform now. Please remove the member from the platform. Honorable Mente, I have now cautioned you a number of times. I am going to next time now ask you to leave the chamber. The same honorable member of the MK. Honorable member of the MK, do you know the rules that if a ruling has been made on the same matter, you cannot raise another point of order? So is this a new point of order? Honorable member, then you go to the rules committee with your complaint. And please do, honorable member, order. We will now proceed, Honorable President.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. I've now forgotten what the question was. But well, there was a question. I guess I need to respond to it. I think the honorable member's question was, what is it that we sought to achieve by going to the United States? And I think that does require an answer. We were very...
Order, honorable members, Honorable Mkaula. Honorable member, I'm not recognizing you now. Honorable President, please proceed.
Thank you. The issue of relations between South Africa and the United States was an issue that occupied many people's minds in our country, and many had raised concerns about the deteriorating relationship between our two countries, having recognized the important role that both our countries play in each other's economy, apart from various political relations, diplomatic relations. And we realized that the impact on our country's economy would be adverse unless we were able to repair or reset the relationship between our two countries. And to this end, in a telephone conversation with President Trump, when we were discussing other global matters such as Russia and Ukraine, we agreed that we should meet. And it was to this end that we traveled to the United States with a delegation that all of you would have seen as it was broadly televised. We really had three objectives. The first was to reset the relationship between two trading partners, partners that have had dealings over many years and where we invest in each other's economies. The United States has some 601 companies that are invested in South Africa. And we similarly have a number of companies that have invested in the United States. A number of our jobs, some of the sectors that would be affected would be agriculture, the auto sector, and the steel and aluminum sector, and a number of other sectors that make machines, and the mining sector, where we sell critical minerals to the United States, would be adversely affected if the relations were not straightened out. So it was to this end that we were motivated to reset that relationship. The second objective was to set up a process of engagement between the United States and South Africa. There had hitherto been a process of disengaging, where we were no longer really engaging at a government level to deal with issues that governments normally deal with on an ongoing basis. And we wanted to engage on tariffs, on investments, and related matters. And the third objective was to discuss the G20 and to highlight the important role that a country like the United States, which is the largest economy in the world, plays in the activities of the G20, which we are so deeply immersed in and having the responsibility of leading, and that it's important for the United States to engage with the G20 process and ultimately to entice the leader of the United States to come to the Leaders' Summit at the end of the year. So broadly, those were our objectives. And there could be a fourth one, which would be just the promotion of investment by American companies and South African companies in each other's economies. So we do believe that we achieved those objectives. The engagement with the American government has started. Soon after we left Washington, the engagement has now commenced, and there are discussions that are happening in relation to tariffs, in relation to investments, and we believe that we have reset the relationship despite what we could have seen on television. We were able to have a much more meaningful discussion and meeting with President Trump and his representatives during the quiet room where we had lunch together and had meaningful exchanges on a number of issues. And we do believe that the engagement will continue through the G20 process. So that was the main objective of the visit. And we do believe that the United States continuing to play such a big role in the life of our economy, it was necessary and important for us to go and engage with them, because many of our people's jobs are dependent on our economic dealings with the United States. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The last supplementary question will be asked by the Honorable Hadebe.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Your Excellency, given the sharp increase in food prices and its impact on household well-being, particularly in rural and underdeveloped areas, what role does the President envisage for the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development in supporting subsistence farming and small-scale agricultural initiatives as a buffer against food price volatility? Thank you.
The Honorable President.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. The issue of the rising prices in food items is a concern for all of us, but we've seen how the lowering of inflation has had a rather positive impact on the number of food price items. And so that pleases us. But at the same time, our VAT exemption on staple foods also helps to cushion the poor against rises of prices in a number of others. But we can't stop there. We do need to embark on other interventions to assist our people to be productive when it comes to agriculture, to land reform. As it is now, our land reform process continues. Minister is continuing to hand over certificates and to engage with beneficiaries of land reform and to encourage them that rather than take money compensation, they should rather stay on the land, and that we will embark on assistance programs to help them to turn the land that they inherit or get into productive centers. The Department of Agriculture is also assisting a number of farmers and targeting a number of subsectors of the agricultural sector as a whole, be it in livestock, even dealing with a number of other challenges like foot and mouth diseases, and also helping your small and medium farmers or emerging farmers, and also in grain production, in vegetable production. A lot of programs are underway to assist in that regard. And we are embarking on a plethora of programs. This we see as a great opportunity to bring in many small-scale farmers. You might recall that during COVID, we were able to reach more than 24,000 farmers that we assisted during that period with vouchers which enabled them to get seeds and implements and fertilizers. And that showed us that it is possible to assist many farmers indeed with various interventions or through various interventions. And this is a program that we've tested, and we're now utilizing even technology to ensure that we are able to spread all these assistance measures more broadly. So it is an area of focus, and we intend, as led by Minister Steenhuisen and Minister Nyonjo, to attack or to deal with a number of interventions that are prevalent in their two ministries. Particularly as we separate the ministries, they now have clear line of sight of what needs to be done to assist our people. And also to make sure that we continue assisting those and supporting those and creating a conducive environment for those who are the food producers of our country, both small and big, throughout the country. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Question 10 has been asked by the Honourable C.P. Mulder. The question is, considering the basic minimum program of priorities of the Statement of Intent for the 2024 Government of National Unity, which identifies the importance of rapid, inclusive and sustainable economic growth, the encouragement of fixed capital investment and industrialization, along with job creation as key focus areas for the 7th administration, what new economic policies have he and the Cabinet developed since the formation of the GNU on July 3, 2025, to achieve the specified focus areas? The Honourable President.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. The medium-term development plan, it really is the main plan that the government has put in place to foster economic development. And the main elements of the economic strategy that are outlined in the medium-term development plan are embedded in that plan, and the apex priority of the MTDP is to achieve inclusive growth and job creation. That is the key focus. This plan is underpinned by a stable macroeconomic framework, which creates a conducive environment for long-term investment. To achieve higher levels of economic growth, we are in many ways undertaking massive investment in infrastructure and upgrading our maintenance activities. Now, in the budget speech delivered by the minister, he confirmed that public infrastructure spending, as I said earlier, in the next 3 years will amount to 1 trillion rand. He noted that allocations towards capital investment remains the fastest growing area of spending, ensuring that we use our resources to foster and to support growth. And with this, public spending on infrastructure will be complemented by the reforms that we are and have embarked upon to the regulatory framework to enable public-private partnerships, as well as streamlining infrastructure financing and project preparation mechanisms to be firmly installed and implemented. Now, a further pillar of our economic strategy is to support sectors with high potential for growth and job creation. This includes growing our key export sectors like mining and agriculture, while developing new industries such as renewable energy, where we are continuing to distinguish ourselves, electric vehicles, and green hydrogen, and harnessing our unique advantages in the green economy. And we are strengthening the capacity of the state, which is another key pillar of the medium-term development plan, including turning around the financial and operational performance of state institutions and improving delivery at local government level. We are focusing on how we should be able to strengthen local government. And we are working in partnership with business and alongside other social partners to promote employment through public and social employment, where work experience and training initiatives are made available to those who participate in our public work programs. Our public work programs are aimed at bringing in not only young people, but people who are also beyond 35, to be able to give them either skills or training possibilities so that they are able to support their own livelihoods. Finally, we are implementing structural reforms to increase efficiency as well as competitiveness while addressing constraints on job creation. Now, the second phase of Operation Vulindlela, with the first phase having been quite successful, is an important part of our strategy to drive more rapid and inclusive economic growth, and also to make sure that we implement this second phase with a great deal of vigor, having learned from the experience of implementing Vulindlela 1. This will be achieved by sustaining the momentum that has already been developed and following through on the implementation of the existing reforms that are beginning to demonstrate their full impact. And this includes, for instance, transforming the electricity sector to achieve energy security, creating a world-class logistics system to support export growth, investing in water infrastructure to ensure water security, and to reform the visa regime or system to attract skills as well as investment. Now, the reform agenda is being expanded into new areas to improve the performance of local government and to create dynamic and integrated cities that will be able to lead economic activity and also to harness digital public infrastructure as a driver of growth and inclusion. Now, as part of this next phase of reform, Cabinet recently approved the ambitious digital transformation roadmap to leverage digital public infrastructure as being part and parcel of our growth program, focusing on digital identity, digital payments, data integration, and digital services as well. Now, this may sound very ambitious, but we are determined as the government of national unity to execute all this. Now, at the direction of Cabinet, the Presidency and National Treasury are working to develop an integrated economic growth strategy, which will bring together these interventions in a coherent, focused, and carefully prioritized manner. We will soon be having that discussion. And in the end, this strategy discussion will bring together, as I say, the various threads that we have identified to foster economic growth in our country. There is absolute agreement within the government of national unity that achieving growth and job creation is our most important and urgent priority. There's no other priority that is as important as this one. And we will be focusing on all this in all its ramifications that include, for instance, making our country safer, dealing with criminality, dealing with corruption, dealing with wasteful expenditure, and all of this will then lead to engendering the growth that our economy deserves. I thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker.
The first supplementary question, before I proceed, Honourable Paulson, on what point are you rising?
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, is not a point, but to my knowledge, there are members here and there are chamber staff. What is the status of those two gentlemen there in front? What do they do here?
They are part of the gallery.
Not in the gallery, they're in the chambers.
Honourable Paulson, I will
Galleries
ask.
over there.
Honourable
What are they doing?
Paulson, we will inquire. We will inquire.
But why do you,
Honourable
but why
Paulson,
were you so arrogant? Couldn't you say that instead of telling me that's not the gallery?
because I believe they're in
Gallery-
gallery. Honourable Paulson, I have now said we will inquire. We will now proceed. The first supplementary question will be asked by the Honourable Mulder.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. Thank you, Honourable President, for a very comprehensive reply, an impressive reply, making it very clear all the steps that are being taken by government. And if there's one thing that the Government of National Unity, I think, have in common is the commitment to economic growth. And a lot of things, the things that you mentioned this afternoon is in terms of Operation Vulindlela. And we accept that, and if I understand it correctly, it means to open the way, but the way is not open. There's a problem with the way, with all due respect. I want to say that if you look at the World Bank's report, it clearly indicates that the average growth at the moment for developing countries is around 4%. If you look at the top 10 African countries, the growth rates there vary between the lowest 5.9% to 7.9%. Even in terms of all the things that you have now mentioned this afternoon, your own Minister of Finance in the budget last week indicated that our current growth rate is 1.4%. Hopefully next year 1.6%, despite all the programs, hopefully in the year thereafter 1.8%. Our unemployment is 32%. Something is wrong. There's a huge problem. And the problem, Honourable President, is that all the issues that you mentioned, and all the wonderful programs and the investments, as far as I'm concerned, are based on the current economic policy of government, the underlying economic policy. Now, that's why I asked the question specifically. Are you prepared to take the initiative and to take the necessary steps to amend, to develop an economic policy that can make possible real economic growth in South Africa, because that's what we need. If we don't have real economic growth, none of the programs that you've mentioned will be successful. None of them will be implemented. But that real new economic policy, as far as I'm concerned, needs to take a different approach with regard to certain basic things that I don't know if you're prepared to do that with regard to Black economic empowerment, with regard to equity, employment equity.
Thank you, Honourable Mulder. Your time has expired.
And appropriation without compensation. Are you prepared to do that? Thank you, sir.
The President.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. I did say that the Government of National Unity is going to spend a considerable amount of hours in a number of days to come, just discussing the economic strategy and trajectory that we should pursue. Our ambition, Honorable Member, Dr. Mulder, is to make sure that our economy grows higher than what the projections are currently. That is our ambition. And the medium-term development plan gives the pointers of where we should be going. What the Minister of Finance also articulated on this platform also gives the pointers of where we are headed. And I'm rather surprised and taken aback when I hear that policies of Black economic empowerment militate against the growth of our economy. That I find quite surprising, because I work from the starting point that our economy was held back over many years by the racist policies of the past. Those racist policies prevented all South Africans, or the majority of South Africans, to play a meaningful role in the economy of their own country. They were brought in, Black people were brought in as hewers of wood and drawers of water. And they were just brought in as laborers. They were not even seen as consumers. They were not seen as active players in the economic landscape of our country. With democracy, what has now been happening, and what we seek to see happening, is the opening up of the economy, the broadening up of economic participation, which, if you observe, Honorable Dr. Mulder, you will actually see, and it's right in your face. You know, in apartheid South Africa, if you looked, for instance, at adverts for commodities, you would never see a Black person being made to advertise either soap or milk or anything. Today, every advert you look at has got Black people, because it's now been realized that it is Black people who are the consumers, and they are economic players. Now, those who would want Black people just to play the consumer role are truly mistaken. Black people must play a productive role as well. So I am really baffled. I'm baffled by people who still hanker for policies of the past. And to have you, sir, saying Black economic empowerment is holding our economy back goes completely against even what the World Bank says. Now, this I find quite surprising, because what is known very clearly as well is that, and a few years ago, the World Bank and the IMF came up with a report that one of the things that holds South Africa's economy back from growth is the level of concentration. Concentration, because they said the ownership of the economy is in far too few hands. ownership has not spread. That is what the World Bank and IMF said. And that is precisely what happens in other countries. When you go to other countries, you'll find the citizens. I mean, in Africa, it will largely be Black people. Wherever you go in the world, it will be the citizens. Now, in our country, it was just the few privileged, and may I continue to say white people, who continue to own the means of production, who continue to own the productive economy of our country. Now,
We took them to America.
Now, this I find very worrying. I find it very worrying that we continue to have this notion that BEE is the one that's holding our economy back. It is the partial and exclusive ownership of the means of production in our country that is holding this economy from growing. So what we seek to do, as set out in the equality clause in our constitution, to redress the imbalances of the past. If we accept that the ownership of our economy is imbalanced, the clause on equality in our constitution seeks to undo that, to redress that. So therefore, ownership of our economy should be broadened. And I can tell you, Dr. Mulder, there's nothing that gives our people joy, particularly Black people, as they go around and they find that this production facility is owned by a Black person. It warms one's heart. It makes us feel so good, because we've come from a horrible past when that was not allowed by law, where people were arrested. If you wanted to set up an economic facility in town, you were put to jail. But today, we are saying all that must be put behind us. We must allow more and more people to play an important role in the economy of our country. And this is what baffles me by those who are opposed to Black economic empowerment. I say, what do you want to see happening? Do you want to see Black people continuing to play the role of laborers, drawers of water, hewers of wood, and consumers only? Why can't Black people be made to own productive aspects of our economy? Why can't they be rich as well? That is what needs to happen. Because it is when they get to that level. Dr. Mulder, you look at the Afrikaners, the history of your people. If you look at the history of your people, they were held back by the English. And with later days, they were enabled. They became more and more economically empowered. And they became economically empowered due to the policies of apartheid, the laws that were put in place, the sweet deals that they were given, and they started getting more and more into being serious economic players. Why can't the same be done for Black people? Why? And this baffles me. Really, I don't understand it, because to me, that is the normal thing to do. You need, as a nation, to say, this group has been disempowered. It's been disempowered. We need to empower it. Like the approach we have now, the rural areas of our country have been disadvantaged, and we're seeking to direct more and more assistance and empowerment to the rural areas so that the rural areas also come up. Now, anyone who will tell me that that is wrong, really, I think they must have their heads examined, because that cannot be the case. So my answer, therefore, is our objective is to spread economic participation broadly. And I will hold on to the argument that the more we have previously disadvantaged people, playing a role in the economy of their own country, the better it is.
No,
Because then
don't
we are able to bake a much bigger cake so that everyone participates
Right.
in having the cake. Thank you very much.
Because we don't have.
Thank you, Honourable President. Could I again ask the members on the platform to please make sure that your devices are muted? The second supplementary question will be asked by the Honourable Makubela.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Your Excellency, Mr. President, you mentioned that the medium-term development plan responds to the objectives of the basic minimum program of the GNU. Correctly so, Mr. President. How then will you ensure that the government that you preside over, which is the government of national unity, ensures that the three main strategic objectives of the MTDP are correctly financed and there is adequate budget allocation towards the minimum program, which is aligned to the MTDP? Thank you.
The Honourable President.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. That is a very good question, particularly after the presentation of the budget. If you look at the budget as presented, it is a growth budget, much as a number of aspects or platforms have been scaled down. It is a growth budget. And a clear demonstration of why it is a growth budget is the allocation, for instance, for what we believe will drive the economy, the infrastructure spend. Over many years, our infrastructure spend has been going down and down, and wrongly so. And we've now made a clear commitment. And this has also been largely after doing quite a lot of research on finding new and innovative methods of funding infrastructure. We have for the longest time been held back by the constraints that we've always believed in, that the fiscus is so constrained that we cannot be more ambitious. Now we're becoming more ambitious and saying, yes, there are other and new funding methods. For instance, the minister spoke about launching an infrastructure bond, where we are going to be able to attract private investors to buy an infrastructure bond so that we can build now. And obviously we'll service the bond as we move on. And it becomes a bond that is traded. And there are other new methods also. Front-loading funding, there are PPPs that we will enter into. There are build, operate, and transfer processes that we will embark upon. So a plethora, or rather many, funding methods and opportunities are coming to the fore. And that is why we characterize this budget as a growth budget and also a distributive budget, where we are able to distribute a little bit more to our people. We would have wanted to do much more if we had more firepower or better financial resources. So attainment of what we've set out in our statement of intent is precisely how we want to fund this budget and fund our ambitions going forward. And I do believe that we have the capability to do so. And our growth ambitions are beyond what is being projected now. We want to grow our economy at a higher level, and sitting down in the next few days as the government of national unity, to properly structure our real growth path and what we need to do, either to curb spending that is not necessary, to save more money, to channel resources into what is productive and what will have an impact, is precisely what we're going to be focusing on. So I think we are on a good path, a path that is going to lead to greater growth going forward. Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker.
The third supplementary question will be asked by the Honourable Burke.
The President, you've answered
the first part of my question relating to our ambition to exceed economic growth forecasts, which of course for the next 3 years averages 1.6%, according to Treasury. And we in the DA are committed to a GNU that does in fact grow the economy. So the balance of my question is whether you intend to drastically accelerate the policy measures that are pro-growth.
The Honourable President.
Honorable Burke, as you are being applauded for the question that I've already answered, the answer to the remainder of your question is yes, we are determined to foster policies that are going to promote growth. And that is the strength, in my view, of the government of national unity, because it brings together different viewpoints of 10 political parties working together to a common objective of growing the economy of our country. So I see us going beyond the statement of intent, buckling down with various parties that are also supportive of the work that is being done by the government of national unity, and focusing on growth, because in the end, growth is what really matters. It is the economic life of our people that really matters more than many other things that we keep talking about. So we are going to focus on policies that are going to foster growth. So I would say bring them on. Let those policies come on. And I'd like to hear more, especially from you as well, because you seem to be full of ideas. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
The last supplementary question will be asked by the Honourable Maimane.
Mo Presidente, ke a dumelana le wena gore maAforika Borwa a sokola, bontsi ba bone ga ba bereki, ebile ikonomi ya rona ga ya gola ka tsela e tshwanetseng ka be gotse ka teng. Ke amogele leeto la go ya ko Washington. Mo Presidente, potso ya ka ke given the fact that there's been no relatively new policy shifts in the last 10 years, despite Operation Vulindlela 1 and Operation Vulindlela 2 having read the medium-term development plan, what I want to know, Mr. President, is that post you coming back from the US, in 48 hours, the Minister of Communications tabled regulations that seem to do away with the equity aspect of BBBEE. Now, Mr. President, you and I both agree we need foreign direct investment. So what I want to understand from that position, that of the tabling of the new regulation, is whether the same will be extended to South African companies so that we can improve our gross capital formation, because we can obsess about GDP.
Thank you, Honourable Maimane. Your time has expired.
Let's obsess about investment, Mr. President. So I want to know if you are changing that
Honourable
regulation.
Maimane, your time has expired. Honourable President.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. We expect that our growth path going forward will be a combination of various initiatives, interventions, and without steering away from the key tenets of our Constitution. Our Constitution is very clear. We've come from a horrible past which we even address in our Constitution, in the Equality Clause, where we said we need to recognize what has happened. Our preamble speaks to that. Our Equality Clause is quite clear that in order to foster equality in our country, which is a noble objective, we need to take a number of measures, legislative and otherwise, that are going to redress the impact of what was done in the past. So as we move forward, we are going to need to address those terrible legacies of the past as we grow our economy. And what we seek to do is to grow an inclusive economy, not an economy that exclusively focuses on the growth of a particular group, but we want an inclusive economy that focuses on the growth of all. and focusing on those who were right at the bottom of the step ladder so that they too can move up to the top of the step ladder. So to do so, we will need to take into account where we come from, what our constitution says, what our laws say, and be able to move forward in a very determined way. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Question number 11 has been asked by the Honorable Mente. Your point of order.
Yes, Deputy Speaker, we haven't received an answer on who are those gentlemen seated there in the chambers.
My apologies, Mr. President. Yes, indeed, I have just received it, so I will gladly read it to you. Those gentlemen are protectors, and that is indeed in the gallery, although not clearly delimited, and that will be done in future. Thank you. Honorable Mente.
Now, Speaker, can we do a proper demarcation, because this side is the House. Anyone who's not a member sworn in can't be on this side of the House. They must go sit there. We're members of the House here. We've been searched there. We're not carrying any firearms. We're not going to shoot anyone. Can they go sit that side and not sit with us this side? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Dugmore.
But whose protectors are those, Deputy Speaker?
Honorable Pambu, I did not recognize you. Honorable Dugmore.
Thank you very much.
Please recognize me.
Thank you very
Dugmore
much.
is on the floor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, this is a point of order. I believe that you have provided an explanation, and I think that if there are further concerns about your point about demarcation, this is a matter that the Rules Committee can discuss. I really don't think it's an issue that needs to be dealt with now. The explanation has been given, and I think that's adequate.
Thank you, Honorable Dugmore. That is what my ruling would have been now, that this matter be taken to the Rules Committee. It can also be discussed at the Chief Whip's Committee.
Honorable
Chief Whip's
Speaker.
Forum. Honorable Maimane, is that a point of order?
It's a different matter, Honorable Speaker. It's just the President did not answer my question. He gave a similar response to the previous one.
Honorable Maimane, you know full well that it is the President's prerogative to answer the question in the way that he sees fit. And you can write to the President if you have any further clarity. Honorable members, I have now ruled on this matter. I'm not taking any. Honorable Chilinga, no. You, Honorable Member, this is now the second time that after every ruling I've made, you want to challenge the ruling. You know how to challenge the ruling. It is not here. Honorable Member, I do not recognize you any further. We will now proceed. We will now, Honorable Makola, Honorable members, I have now ruled on this matter, and I cannot entertain, in terms of the rules, I cannot entertain any other further comments on that particular matter. Honorable member of the EFF, what is your point?
It's a separate matter, Speaker. You just said they are protectors. Who are they protecting? They are protectors of who? Didn't tell us.
They are the protectors of either the President or the Deputy President, who is...
So you don't know?
No, but you must be certain, Deputy
You must be
Speaker.
specific.
We don't know who are they protecting.
Or protecting the Deputy President. We can't just have people here in Parliament and we don't know who they are.
With you, I can obtain whether they are indeed the President's
Please
protectors.
obtain, Speaker. Yeah, we want to know.
Everyone who's there must be accounted for.
Honorable
Everyone who's
Pambu,
there
I
must
have
be
not
accounted for.
recognized you.
I asked to be recognized.
I will recognize you now. What is your point of order?
Deputy Speaker, there mustn't be people in the House there who are not accounted for. You can't just say they're protectors. Who are they protecting? You don't know.
Honorable
You are a
Pambu,
presiding officer. You are the one who's in charge of that.
You are now
But I'm making
dealing
my
with a
point.
matter on which I have now already expressed myself.
Yeah, but we're calling
Could
for
I
a point
please
of
ask
order
the
on
Chief
you.
Whip of the EFF to instruct your members on the actual
No, you can't tell
rules
our
of
Chief
the-
Whip to
Honorable
instruct
Pambu,
me.
I am
The
now
Chief Whip will
cautioning
instruct
you,
me.
Honorable Pambu.
Point of order, Speaker.
Makula.
Point of order,
Honorable
Speaker.
Makula, Honorable Malema, your member is on the floor.
Thanks, Deputy Chair. Mina ngisuka eNanda, angigadwe emuntu. What about yena? Nani kusho ukuthi angise nama-protector army kabazongigada la.
Honorable Makula, I have already ruled on this matter. I do not entertain further discussions. Honorable Makula, we will now proceed. I will obtain the information whether it is indeed the Deputy President's protectors or the President's protectors. Honorable Paulson, I have ruled on this matter. Honorable Makula, Honorable Makula.
The President's hand have been up. Please recognize the President of the EFF.
Honorable Klangwini, I have not recognized you. We will now proceed with the next question. Question number 11 has been asked by the Honorable...
I said point of order and you said you recognize me.
Honorable Malema, what is your point of order?
Why are you doing
is
what
it
you are
a new
doing?
point of order?
Why? Let me speak. Don't ask me if it's a new point of order or not. You
Yes,
rule
I
on
may ask you whether it's a new point
You
of
will
order. You
rule.
don't have
You
a
will
speaking
rule on it.
opportunity.
Allow me to speak. You are not going to do that thing of marshalling us as if you are marshalling your gardeners. We're not your
Honorable
gardeners.
Malema, I am
Listen to me.
cautioning you.
I want to speak. Listen to me.
Honorable Malema, I will not listen to you if it is not a point of order or a point of privilege.
I said point
You know
of
the
order.
rules.
I said
Honorable
point of
Malema,
order. Point of order.
Good. What is your point of order? Refer me to the rule.
The point of order is you can't say the president has got a right and a prerogative to answer the questions the way he likes. It's like he doesn't have such a prerogative. He's duty bound to answer questions to the satisfaction of the members of parliament, because this is not just passing time session. That's where we're going to get proper, real, legitimate answers. So if honorable member says the president has not answered my question, you cannot answer that for president. President must decide whether he has answered that question or he thinks he can do much better. You can't say he's got a prerogative. He doesn't have.
Malema, if you can point me to the exact rule and wording that states that it must be to the satisfaction and liking of the member, I could consider it. But at this point, you did not, and there is no such specific recommendation in the rules or stipulation. We will now proceed, and Honorable Malema, I've now dealt. Honorable Malema, I've now dealt with the matter.
Yeah, you must also refer me to the rule that says he's got a prerogative. Why do you want people to show the rule and you don't show the rule?
Honorable Malema, I have now ruled on this matter.
You are an elected person like all of us.
Honorable Malema, I'm cautioning you. You will be removed.
You can't question me. I'm removed already. What do you mean you can?
Honorable Malema, I am now going to remove you from the platform.
You've been bullying EFF here with your
racism. Please remove the Honorable Malema from
your white
the platform.
Bullying the EFF. You think your whiteness gives you?
On a point of order, Speaker, Deputy Speaker.
Honorable Pambu, I have not recognized you. We will now proceed. Honorable Pambu, I will not recognize you now.
There's a point of order. We have been raising our hands.
Honorable Pambu, we will now, and Honorable Klangwini, I'm cautioning you now. We will now remove you from the platform.
Deputy Speaker, order.
No.
What is your
Can you please bring back the president? Why are you removing the president? He was still on the podium. Please.
I have removed him because I've cautioned him.
What you are doing is wrong. This is not your house.
Please remove that member.
You can't just do
Honorable Chikawa. Honorable members, we can continue and you will all be removed. Honorable Mente, what is your point of order?
Speaker, you have started again with your unfairness. We took this matter of you, and it was particularly you that said a minister here has a prerogative, and we took that matter to the rules. We deliberated on it for the whole night. We left here early hours of the morning talking about that, and we said it must never happen again. It's still happening, and you are saying people have got prerogative. There is no such a thing. We took it to the Rules Committee. I'm a member of Rules. We deliberated on that, and we said it must not. Members of the executive, including the president, they must account, they must answer questions as they are asked. Because the next thing the president can stand up and say, I don't want to answer. And you're going to say, he has answered, he doesn't want to. No. If the member says a specific matter has not been dealt with, that specific matter must be dealt with. to the satisfaction of the member, because we represent the people here.
Thank you,
We
Honourable
don't
Mente.
represent
You have made your
ourselves.
point. Honourable Skosana.
Yeah, no, thank you very
On
much.
a point of order, Deputy
Honourable
Speaker,
Tlangwini, there is someone on the floor.
I've been raising a point of order even before him,
Honourable
and you
Tlangwini, I
recognize
have not
him before me.
recognized you. Honourable Skosana, please proceed.
Yeah, no,
You are such
Deputy
a
Speaker,
bully.
we acknowledge the matter that is raised by Honorable Mente. However, the rules in their current form, they don't stipulate that, as you correctly indicated earlier, that there's no section when you requested Honorable Malema to refer you to the specific section and clause that says a minister or a president or a deputy must answer to the satisfaction of the member. So we don't have that in the rules. As much as the rules committee debated the matter, but the rules have not been amended. So we're using the rules in their current form. So that matter doesn't stand. Deputy Speaker, thank you.
Indeed. Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Members, I'm not going to entertain any more points of order. We will now proceed with the matters of the House.
On a point of order, Deputy
Honourable
Speaker, I have
Mtlangeni,
been...
what is your specific point of order?
I have been calling a point of order even before this member, and you're
Now,
not going to
please
tell me.
proceed.
You're not going to tell me how to speak, when to speak, and how to say it. What I want to say. One, there is members have been pointing out there's protectors in the house with firearms. You don't even stop the house and let those protectors be removed. So you have now opened the house to say that protectors can come in with their firearms. So why are we not stopping this house that all of us go and get our protectors and our firearms? Two, the president have not answered the question. He have not answered the question. He is running away with answers the whole afternoon, and you have been shielding him in holding him to account to answer questions. What is this that we are busy with?
Honourable Tlangwini, thank you very much. Your point has been made. Honourable Tlangwini, your point has now been made. You are now making a whole speech. I'm now recognizing the Deputy Chief Whip
You are
of the
bully.
ANC.
You want to keep and shield this man
On a
from
point of order, Deputy Speaker.
questions.
Honourable
You are
Tlangwini.
bullying the whole all of the
Tlangwini, I caution you, please remove the Honourable Tlangwini from the platform.
Will not tolerate this bullying tactics.
Please remove the Honourable Tlangwini from the platform. Honourable Lakude.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy.
No. Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Pambu,
Tlangwini can change. No.
now
But I've
cautioning
raised
you,
my
Honourable
hand.
Pambu, this is now the
but
third
Deputy
time that
Speaker,
you are
Deputy
not
Speaker,
recognised.
I have
Please
raised
remove
my
the Honourable
hand. You are
Pambu from the
recognizing people
platform.
before me. What?
Please remove the Honourable Pambu. Yes, Honourable Lakude.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, I want you to invoke Rule 69, gross disorderly conduct. Rule 69 says members may not engage in grossly disorderly conduct in the House and its forums, including deliberately creating serious disorder or disruption. This is what is currently happening in the House. There are members who keep on disrupting, not even acknowledging your rulings. So if the members are not happy with the responses by the president or your rulings, they know what to do. They must write to the Rules Committee. That's where these decisions will be taken. The rules as its current form, we don't have any rule that specifies that you must force a response that will satisfy anyone. So we are currently using edition 9 of the rules. Thank you very much, Honorable Dis.
Thank you, Honourable Tlakudi. Honourable Member, Honourable Member, I have another member. Honourable Dlamini, I have another member on the floor.
Please recognize me after that member.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. On the issues of the protectors, you already made a ruling that you decide on the demarcation in the future. So that matter should not arise. So your decision must be respected.
Thank you, but I have already ruled on that matter. Honourable members, I am not now recognizing any further points. Honourable Dlamini, I'm not recognizing you. You are, as the Honourable Dlakude has indicated, very close to falling foul of Rule 69, and we will now proceed. Please remove the Honourable Dlamini from the platform.
Honourable Speaker.
Speaker, you can't decide who
recognize members of the EFF.
It's very wrong what you're doing,
members.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members of the
Can you
EFF.
please recognize members of the EFF?
Don't call
Honorable
us
member.
members of the
Please
EFF.
recognize
You are very
members of
out
the
of
Honorable
order.
member, I have now
Wrong what you're
dealt-
doing.
We are
Honorable
members of
member.
Parliament of the Republic
Member,
of South
I am now
Africa.
cautioning you.
Recognize members of the EFF.
Honorable member, please. Honorable members, I am not recognizing any more members because these matters are now very much in line of gross orderly misconduct. Honorable members of the EFF, I have now ruled I am not going to entertain these matters any further. We will now proceed with the right of members who have submitted questions. And what you do not understand, or perhaps not realize, that there's a limited time to the questions that can be asked. You have another question that has to be asked. It will not be asked in time because you are wasting time. You are now going to not allow one of your members or be prejudiced one of your members not to be able to ask the question that they want to ask. So please take that into consideration. We will go up to 5 o'clock, and that is in terms of the rules. Honourable member, I will not recognize you now. I have now ruled.
Speaker, please
and it is time that you do respect
Please
the House.
recognize me, Speaker.
I have said, Honourable member, I am not recognizing any points now. We will now proceed
Honorable
with the business
Speaker, please
of the
recognize
House.
us. Honorable Speaker,
Honorable
Deputy Speaker, please recognize me.
Please
Deputy
remove the
Speaker,
Honourable
please
Mailola.
recognize us.
You are now disrupting the House.
Recognize us, Speaker.
Please remove the Honourable Mailola.
Yo.
Deputy Speaker.
Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Please remove the Honourable Mokwele.
But Speaker,
Why are you removing our members,
Please remove
Speaker?
the Honourable Mailola.
Why are you removing Honorable Mailula? Is it against the rules to
They
raise
are
on a point of
now
order?
in contempt of the chair. And I will then remove you. Honourable member, you are now in contempt. I have said I do not recognize any points of order now. You also, member. We will now proceed.
Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker.
Point of order, Deputy Speaker. This is the Chief
Honourable
Whip
member,
of the
we will go
EFF.
through all of you
Can you
because you are
recognize me,
now in
please?
contempt.
Deputy Speaker, I'm raising on a point of privilege, please.
Deputy Speaker, can you recognize me, please?
Honourable members, you will now be removed from the platform. You are now impeding
Deputy
the work
Speaker,
and the rights
can you
of all
recognize
the
me,
other
please?
members. No, I'm not recognizing you. I have indicated that we will now proceed, and you are
But
now
it is
in
wrong
contempt.
what you're doing, Deputy Speaker.
Honourable
Issues
members,
have been
you can take
raised
that
here.
to the
You
Rules
have
Committee.
people that are not known in the
Honourable
House.
members, table, please remove all the men.
Deputy Speaker, how do you remove the chief whip of the EFF? You are removing the chief whip. You are not going to You are do removing that. the chief whip of the EFF and she's trying to assist you, Deputy Speaker.
You are not going to do that. Can you please
Deputy
recognize
Speaker,
me?
we're trying to assist you. Let us assist you. I'm raising on a point of privilege.
Honourable Nolachungu, we will now remove you from the platform.
You are removing
No,
me
you
for what,
can't
Deputy
remove
Speaker?
me.
I'm trying to assist you. I'm raising on a point of privilege.
This is not
I'm raising on a point of privilege, Deputy Speaker. It's not a point of order. Allow me the point of privilege, please.
This is not Oval Office. This is not Oval Office yet.
Dictatorship.
Deputy Speaker.
We're not going to allow you to turn this house into a
Deputy Speaker.
dictatorship.
Oh,
It's very
Honorable
wrong what you're doing, Speaker.
Mente, I am not.
It's wrong.
Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Please remove those
We're
minutes.
calling order on you.
You are removing me for what? For raising a point of privilege.
Order on you.
It's not me.
It's
You
very
can't
wrong what you're
remove
doing.
also the whip of the EFF. You've just removed
EFF is losing
the
support.
whip of the EFF.
EFF
And
is
you are trying
losing
to assist you.
support because of your
Shut up,
chaotic behavior.
Shut up, nonsense. You shut up.
We're not Dagmo. You think we're in a
Why are you losing support when ANC? Deputy Speaker.
Honourable members of the EFF.
This is how they behave.
Honourable.
The criminal chairperson of education.
Honourable Letsie.
You are abusing your
Honourable
powers, Speaker. We're
Mtweni.
calling order on you. You are abusing your powers.
Honourable
You are
member.
targeting members
Honourable
of the
member.
EFF. You are targeting members of the EFF here. It's very wrong what you're doing, Speaker. We're not going to allow you. We're not going to allow you to do that. Shut up, you.
That's
Not a dictatorship.
That's why the EFF
You are-
is losing
you are
support. Who are they
childish.
protecting?
Shut up, you.
EFF is losing support because of your behavior.
We will now proceed.
Speaker, you said you're going to get back to us.
The House, I have said that I will not take any further points of order.
Deputy Speaker,
On a
what
point of
rule are you
order,
relying on?
Speaker. You can't tell us not.
You are not going to make up your own rules here.
You can't tell us not to raise points of orders. Who are you?
Hey, you
not going to make up your own rules.
Member.
I'm not in a military state here. This is not a military.
Honourable Member.
Van orders.
Indeed, it
again,
is not.
Speaker.
So please stop behaving as if it is like that. Honourable Member, please leave the chamber.
Again, Speaker.
No more.
Deputy Speaker, I've been raising my hand for the past 10 minutes. For the past 10 minutes, I've been raising my hand. Can I be recognized, please?
Please leave the chamber.
I'm not going.
Sergeant at Arms, please assist the Honourable Mohale to leave the chamber.
Speaker.
Point of order again, Speaker.
Please.
Speaker, you said you are going to get back to us in terms of who are these people protecting. You are the one who said that.
Honourable
You have
Member.
not done so.
Honourable Member, at what point did I have time to do that with you taking points of order every time?
Please find out. We want to know who are they protecting.
But would you then allow me the time to do that? Well, thank you very much.
Why would you protect a toothless dog? Why would you do that?
Whilst I'm waiting for that reply, we will proceed. And please, Honourable Sergeant or Sergeant at Off, please remove the Honourable Mohale. Thank you. We will now go to Honourable Chair. No, I'm not taking any further points of order. You are now in contempt.
Deputy Speaker, can I speak?
Honourable Motwedi, you were supposed to be removed from the platform.
For what now?
Because I said no further points of order. Honourable Pambu, I have ruled no further points of order.
This is Honourable Tambo.
Pambu, yes, sorry. My apologies. Pambu was on the platform. Yes, Honourable.
Yes,
Member.
thank you very much. I think we must register our displeasure, number one, on the presence of security personnel here, which you said you'll get back to us about, and you are not doing so. You are removing members one by one. That's the first point. They are not democratically elected to be here. And if the president feels unsafe with his own colleagues, why is he sitting on that podium? Why doesn't he address us virtually? Because we were elected with him in the 2024 elections. He's bringing protectors here to protect him from whom? It's grossly disorderly. It's not representative of a democracy that is peaceful, that has political tolerance. That reflects him fearing us as political parties. So why is he continuing to do that? Those protectors must leave the house. And the second thing, Speaker, your conduct today reminds us of Baleke Mbete, reminds us of the one who's in court now, Nosviwe Mapisa Ngakula. And speakers who have conducted themselves the way you've conducted themselves have been remembered badly by history. You are protecting misconduct. You're protecting irregular things in this parliament by having securities here sitting with us. Ask them to leave, or ask the president, who's their principal, to ask them to leave. We are not feeling safe or comfortable having people here who are not elected here. Ask them to leave, and we continue with the proceedings of this house.
Honourable Member, thank you.
Honourable
members,
Deputy Speaker. Honourable Deputy Speaker.
Members.
Speaker, on a point of order.
Honourable Member, I am on the floor. And you have now referred to the matter, Honourable Tambu, that at this point, that you now see the presiding officer as the same as other presiding officers. The fact of the matter is, Honourable Member, that this is about two-way respect, whether you respect yourself, the House, the other members. You cannot not respect the House and expect of the presiding officer to ignore it. We have rules. So it is a two-way relationship. I have said earlier that I would, Honorable Makola, you are now doing exactly what I'm talking about. I can't hear what you say because you're shouting. Honorable members, I am on the floor.
Sorry,
I have said,
get respect. Uyasihluka lo usamagwala.
Honorable member,
Ngicela ukhulume naye.
I will deal with that matter now. I have, Honorable Chair.
Nathi sizozake nabantu
Honorable
abasesibhadala.
Honorable Nkola, I have said right when the matter was raised by the Honorable Paulson that I will inquire who the two gentlemen are. I have received a reply that that is indeed part of the gallery, although not clearly demarcated. Then there was, Honorable Paulson, then there was another question on whose protectors those are, which I will find out, but you do not give me the opportunity to do so because you have points of order upon points of order to the fact or to the point that you have now disrupted the House and we have 35 minutes left for two questions. So my apologies to the rest of the members who have submitted and prepared their questions, but we will not go beyond 5 o'clock, which is stated in the rules. Honourable Member, what is your point?
Deputy Speaker, the problem is that you keep going back on your undertaking not to entertain any further frivolous points of order.
But why are you speaking? Why are you speaking? Are you not undermining the speaker's ruling yourself?
Member, Honourable Tambo, I did not recognize you and please switch off your mic.
Complaining of
Let's take Louis Motor Avenue, M11 South,
I
Orange
was being
Road.
falsely accused of not answering the question. He's not being given that opportunity. I ask that you stick to
Why
your
are you
ruling
allowing
as per Rule 69
Why are you
as
allowing
referenced by Honorable Zakude.
Why are you
Honourable Member, I have ruled on that.
allowing
I have, Honourable Members, I did not refer to those points of order. Honourable Makula, this is now enough. I did not refer to frivolous points of order. It was a matter that members were raising points of order based already on a ruling that I have made, which is against the rules. So that was my point, because it was going over and over on the same matter. Honourable Chairman, I'm not going to recognize you now. I am on the floor. We will now proceed.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, I've been waiting for you to recognize me.
Honourable Member, I cannot see who you are.
Ndicela recognize the Deputy Speaker. Andingo Honourable Chair, ndicela recognize. Ndicela ubuza into yokubana kutheni ukhupha ii-members ze-EFF phayana kwi-virtual platform bonke nabangathethanga abaphakamise izandla zabo abafuna uthetha wena uba recognize phayana. And kudala sikunike ixesha elininzi maybe iphelile i-hour apha sibuze uba ngobani abayana. For wena into yokokubana uthi akhange sikunike ixesha elaneleyo lokuba ukhangele into yokokubana ngobani abayana ayonyani leyo. So ke ngoku ndicela into yokokubana usixelele i-hour iphelile wena ukhangelana nabantu thina masihlale i-hour apha epalamente sihlale nabantu esingayaziyo uba ngobani kuba wena uyabazi aba bantu ngobani na uthi asizithathi serious.
You are now making a speech. I have removed those members on the Honourable Member. Honourable Member, you are now making a speech. Honourable Member. Honourable Gilisha, I'm now cautioning you. Honourable Gilisha, I'm cautioning you, please leave the chamber. Honourable Gilisha, please leave the chamber. Honourable Member, please leave the chamber. Honourable
Deputy Speaker, I'm still waiting for you to recognize me.
Please remove the member, assist the member to leave the chamber.
Deputy Speaker, I'm still waiting for you to recognize me.
Indeed now, my apologies on the platform, but your own members are now interrupting you. Honourable Gilisha. I am not taking any points of order now because you are now going over the same matter. And no, Honourable Member, I have now ruled, Honourable Mente, I have now ruled, we will not proceed on this matter I will get information whether those protectors are the presidents or the deputy presidents.
For how long? For how long, Chair? It should be a quick process. How long are we going to have unknown people? This is not a military state. Are we in a war here that the president must be protected? Are we in a war?
People who are speaking without.
rally. What is the president scared of? Are we in a war?
Shut up,
here?
you. Shut up, you.
President, what are you scared of? What are you scared of?
Are you all contesting to be
Speaker's deputy, Lonzi? Is this a
Why
military
are you
state?
removing all our members from the platform?
But Speaker,
You're unfair.
I'm still waiting for you to recognize
You
me.
are abusing your powers.
Speaker, I'm still waiting for you to recognize me. I've been
You're
raising
also
my hand.
abusing us.
I'm waiting for you, Deputy Speaker, to recognize me. My hand has been up for almost an hour.
Hey, fight Lonzi.
Deputy Speaker, if you are unable to preside over this meeting, maybe you might
Honourable
vacate the
members,
chair and give it to someone else,
honourable
because we've
members
been
of the
raising our hands and
platform,
you don't want to recognize us.
You are now interrupting the proceedings, and I'm therefore ruling that you will all now be removed from the platform.
Who is
so
on?
that
Speaker, I'm
proceedings
asking for you
can
to recognize me.
proceed.
That's all I'm saying. I'm asking
My
for you to
reply
recognize
to
me.
the question on the protectors. Honourable Mente, would you give me the opportunity to reply on the protectors? Thank you so much. Honourable members, we will now proceed. Honourable Mente, we will now proceed.
No, Deputy Speaker, you have removed Mushala, Mkondo, Matulelwa, and other members of the EFF that have not spoken, that have not unmuted themselves without you recognizing them. And you now just said you are going to remove everyone on the platform. There's no such a rule, and that is wrong. Please allow all the members of the EFF back on that virtual platform because they did not say anything. Please allow them back. They need to participate.
Honourable Member, my apologies. I said that they will be, I wanted to say they would be muted. That is to keep the House in order and to proceed.
No, but that is not also allowed. It's in the rules.
Please take
you allow people to participate. If you don't feel like they must be dead, you tell them that you are not going to allow them to speak.
We
But
will
you
now
can just
proceed.
leave the platform. They might as well be.
A point of order.
But who recognized you, Comrade Dagmo? Who recognized you? We have our hands up here
I recognized him. I said, Honourable Dagmo, I have not yet recognized you.
Speaker, my hand has been up for half an hour. How do you
Raised
recognize
before.
someone?
Rule 69. We do not need this kind of behavior in a parliament of the Republic of South Africa. And it's no wonder the EFF is losing support election by election. So I want to
What rule is that?
and that
What
we have
rule
an
is that?
investigation into this conduct, which is bringing this House into a disgrace. That's all.
Honourable Dagmo, you are not assisting. Honourable members, I will indeed refer this matter to the Speaker for referral to the powers and privileges for every member who was in contempt of the rules of this House, the procedures of this House, and the respect for the presiding officer. I will also refer it in terms of Rule 69, which is very specific and which the Powers and Privileges Act refers to. That will be done. We will now proceed. Honourable Tandu.
Thank you.
We are now proceeding because you are now interfering with other members' right to ask questions.
So thank you, Deputy Chair. I think I'd like to first begin by expressing my appreciation for your ability to self-correct, because it means you have considered now that the presence of those strangers here was wrong. The challenge now that exists is that you removed members of parliament in defense of those strangers. Can we allow members of parliament who were raising the issue that you have now conceded to return to the House so we can return to the normal business of this? They were removed in defense of those people.
Honourable Member, no.
Gone.
Honourable member.
Members of Parliament return to the
No,
House.
I removed them because they showed contempt for the presiding officer. That is why they were removed. We will now proceed. Question 11 has been asked by the Honourable Modise Mpaya.